Frank Hannon, best known as the guitarist, songwriter, and co-founder of the multi-platinum band Tesla, which has been around for 30 years. Frank, thanks for joining me right now. What's changed in the music business over the last 30 years?
What's changed? More like what hasn't changed. Uh, Everything has changed, man. But, the one thing that people can't change or take away is the feeling of a rock and roll concert, live, in your face, loud guitars, drums. Everything else has changed. The vinyl records, the cassette tapes, the CDs are almost a thing of the past. But the live music is the one thing that's solid. It's a great experience, and we're just so proud and happy to be on tour with Def Lepard on the Speedwagon.
Frank, let me ask you this, because you mentioned albums and cassettes and 8-tracks and things like that as well. Music used to be something tangible. Nowadays, it's like ones and zeros and MP3s and WAV files and stuff. Has that changed a lot for bands and the way that you guys get paid?
Getting paid? Definitely. And it definitely has changed a lot on people's excitement of music. Like, I remember being a kid, and when the new Van Halen record came out, I was really excited to go stand in line at the record store and get it,
Right.
Whereas now, a new album comes out, you just look at it on your cell phone and be done with it. And so, people are just so used to getting all their information and all their music and everything right there in the palm of their hand. You know what I mean? So it's changed that. But that's why I'm saying, the way we get paid and the way that people can really get off on the music is to come to the show.
I'm looking forward to the show. Actually, Frank, the show between with Tesla, REO, and Def Lepard sold out in in a week here in the La Crosse area. And honestly, it's the first time that I ever bought a ticket ahead of time, and then I actually paid the extra fees to do that. And crazy, but I'm glad I got my tickets because I wouldn't want to miss it in the world. Show's coming up in October, and I was doing a little bit of research on you before we did the interview here, and it's a couple days right after your birthday. You're turning 50?
Yeah, that's right, man. I'm going to be still celebrating when I get to La Crosse.
Is celebrating, Frank, nowadays different than celebrating back in the 80s?
Yeah, it sure is, man. We, honestly, we don't really enjoy drinking or partying like we used to. It hurts too much to feel good again. The recovery time takes too long.
Frank, I just turned 48 the other day myself, and I feel your pain. Back in the 20s, it was, feel good the next day. In the 30s, it was like, feel bad the next day. In the 40s, it's feel bad for the next 3 days. And, just one of those things.
Yeah, it used to be stay up for 3 days.
Yeah, no kidding.
So anyway, but, so to answer your question, it doesn't suck getting older, though, because honestly, I feel better now than I did when I was in my 20s, and I'm turning 50 this year, and I'm on tour with two of my all-time favorite bands. I mean, how many roller skating nights did we all spend to REO Speedwagon? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
You ever go roller skating, dude?
Absolutely. Frank Hannon joining me from the band Tesla. One of my friends, Ginny, Tesla is her favorite band, and she said to ask the question, what was your favorite band from the 80s?
Well, Van Halen and Aerosmith were my two favorite bands from that era, but they started off in the 70s. From the 80s, I would have to say Def Leppard is the cream of the crop. I mean, Pyromania is probably the best album. After that, Bon Jovi and the rest of us, Dawkins, and we all kind of followed in the footsteps of that, So, and another one of my favorite albums would be like Diary of a Madman with Randy Rhoads on it. Randy Rhoads is probably my favorite 80s guitar player.
Uh-huh.
And if you listen to Tesla music, Modern Day Cowboy, stuff like that, and the acoustic elements is really influenced by Randy Rhoads and Eddie Van Halen, that kind of guitar playing.
Frank Hannon from Tesla joining me. My name is Bob. It's BS with Bob Schmidt. Mechanical Resonance, the first album you guys did. Your new album, the live album, celebrates 30 years of the band. and basically performing every song of the album off their off the brand new album, and then Save the Goodness is a new song produced by, as you mentioned, one of your favorite band, Def Leppard, Phil Collin from Def Leppard. What's it like to have a guy that you listened to and you admired to actually help and write the song and be a part of be a part of now Tesla history?
Well, the best way I can describe it and what brings the most joy is the guy has passion, and when you got an outside artist that you look up to show passion for what you do, it really makes you feel good and it motivates you. And he's very passionate about Tesla. And he came to us in the dressing room one night and said, "Guys, I really love your band, and here's some ideas I have." And and I tell people all the time that I equate it to a coach that coaches a team. You can have a great football team with some great athletes, but that team needs an outside person from the outside to motivate them. And that's basically what's been going on with Phil Collins, Def Leppard's lead guitar player. He's been motivating us and coaching us, and we needed that, man. It was a shot in the arm for us.
Frank Hannon joining me. So I got a question. Does it piss you off when people think of Tesla as a car now rather than the band?
No, because we both the car company and both Tesla the band borrowed the name from Nikola Tesla, who really deserves more credit than either one of us, because he was innovative genius, mad scientist back in the old cowboy West days, who invented radio and electricity for us to all enjoy. He changed the world.
Yeah.
And it's Nikola Tesla that we borrowed the name from.
Well, I was going to say, if Tesla wasn't around, I wouldn't have a job today. That's for sure. So, Frank.
Oh, well, he invented. Yeah, that's right. He invented radio, and he invented the fundamentals of what we call an iPhone. Sending pictures and music over a palm-held device was Nikola Tesla's idea back in 1890.
Isn't that crazy? That's nuts.
I think he was talking to aliens and got some information, is what I read.
Really?
Yeah.
So Frank, who's your major influence in songwriting?
I would say Paul McCartney from the Beatles, Bob Dylan, Chris Christopherson, the Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, Dickie Betts.
So not a lot of like heavy metal guys, and just more. I guess will they be considered kind of classic rocker, for the first rockers, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I went through my heavy metal phase when I was in high school, but I find that heavy metal gets old after a while, and the Blue Sky Drive. The sound kind of gets on my nerves after a while. Whereas, like the classic rockers that Tesla was influenced by, it's more timeless. You can listen to it and enjoy it, more. You know what I mean?
Yep,
and
I do.
Storytelling lyrics and stuff like that really is an art form that I really admire.
Oh, absolutely. We talked about it a little bit earlier about Tesla now being clean and sober, but that wasn't always the case. Any forgotten times or any wish to be forgotten times in the years past when you guys were touring?
Yeah, a lot of forgotten times, a lot of wasted time. But I don't mean that as a pun, but, when you're spending time recovering from fights and arguments and having regrets, that's just wasted time, and nowadays, man, we don't have those bad experiences that get fueled by booze, so we're able to spend our days off on the road doing productive things and enjoying, a town like La Crosse. Like, I can guarantee you, when I get to La Crosse, I'm going to go wandering around and go exploring and checking it out.
I'll tell you what, if you need somebody to drive you around and show you some of the sights, I'd love to be that person.
Oh, yeah? Well, hey, man, maybe we'll get in touch. So you're coming to the show. You bought a ticket?
I bought a ticket.
We would have probably put you on the guest list, man. But, hey, thank you for supporting us and supporting Tesla and the cause, man. Appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to the show. I'm ready to kick some ass, that's for sure. Frank Hannon from Tesla joining me right now. So you mentioned that nowadays you guys are clean, sober, like to look around and like to check things out. What does a rock star do on his day off when he's not up there on stage?
Well, these days, it depends on where the bus is parked, and we try to get our bus driver to park near something cool. Like, for example, when we were in Buffalo, we were parked near Niagara Falls, and we went and looked at that, A lot of times they'll park us near a shopping mall, and we'll go running around a shopping mall, look around. Me, I like to go ride horses. So when we have a day off in Dallas, I'll rent a car and I'll go drive up to a horse ranch and do some cuts.
That's nuts. A buddy of mine the other day, ZZ Top played in Sparta, which is about 25 miles away from here. A few weeks ago, a buddy of mine was shopping for his daughter at Walmart and ran into Billy Gibbons at Walmart. You ever have an opportunity like that where you're stopping at a store and somebody, goes up to you and is like, "Frank, dude, how you doing?"
Yes, once in a while that happens, but a guy like Billy Gibbons with a beard like that, man, he's going to get recognized a lot faster than me, or Gene Simmons or somebody.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, man, there's a diehard Tesla fan that will recognize me, and usually it's at Guitar Center or a guitar shop, because I usually hang out at those places too.
You going to stop by Dave's Guitar Shop when you're in La Crosse?
Is that where we're going?
Yep.
You're going to take me there to Dave's Guitar Shop, huh?
I'll tell you what, if you catch a ride with me, I'll bring you there. I'll bring you to Grandad Bluff. I'll bring you over to Riverside Park and look around. It's a beautiful place here.
All right, Bob. Well, when we get off the air here, man, we'll exchange numbers and you can get a hold of me and we'll hang out.
Sweet. Frank Hannon from Tesla joining me. Final song I got for you, Frank. What's your favorite Tesla song?
My favorite Tesla song is Modern Day Cowboy, because it's relevant today with the terrorist junk that's going on, and people wanting to shoot each other, bang bang, shoot them up. It's still relevant. The lyrics are still strong, and the guitar riffs are still strong today as they were 30 years ago. So I would have to say Modern Day Cowboy off of Mechanical Resonance is probably my favorite.
What can you tell me about your new album?
We're working on a new album right now with Phil Collins in the dressing room. We have the dressing room set up as a recording studio when we do our shows. Before we do our show, we work on the new songs. But right now we've got a brand new album called Mechanical Resonance Live. It's a celebration of our first album. Every song from the first album done live in concert last year, plus a bonus track that Phil Collins produced called Save That Goodness. We've got a new video for it. It's on YouTube. You can go to TeslaTheBand.com, check us out. And if you get real crazy, you can go to FrankHannon.com and check me out. So there you have it.
I went to your website earlier. Your website's down. TeslaTheBand.com is up. Looking forward to the show coming up October the 7th at the La Crosse Center. Tesla, REO, and Def Lepard going to be kicking some major ass in La Crosse. Frank, thanks a lot for joining us.
My pleasure, Bob. You guys rock out. Thank you.